Do you know anyone who has been the target of bullying or public humiliation? Or have you yourself ever been a target? Do you have any patients or clients who have been targets of bullying or public humiliation or public shaming? Well, today in this wellness session, I'm delighted to present on EMDR to address the trauma and pain that comes from bullying and public humiliation. My name is Soraya Keating, and I invite us to begin with a self-love breath. Let's go ahead and take a hand to the heart, to your heart, and place your other hand on top of that hand. And take a moment to tune into the natural rhythm of your breath as you also feel what's alive in your heart. Notice any joy, any sorrow, something else in your heart. And as you breathe in and out, say to yourself, I love you no matter what. Try it out loud or to yourself. I love you no matter what. Beautiful. Next, say to yourself, I'm here for you no matter what. I'm here for you now, no matter what. Notice how it feels to take in those words. And go ahead and melt your hands down to your lap or wherever they feel comfortable. Today in this wellness session, I'd like to go over three things. First, when does bullying or public humiliation become a trauma response? Second, what is the impact of bullying and public humiliation on the body and also on the mind? And third, and finally, how can EMDR support people who have experienced bullying, public humiliation, and are suffering a trauma response as a result? So let's get started with part one. When does bullying or public humiliation become a trauma response? Well, a trauma response happens when we experience as humans anything that overwhelms our nervous system to the point that the nervous system goes into a state of chronic fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. So when bullying becomes so overwhelming to the person that they go into one of these states or a mixture, it often shows up as a mixture, that's considered a trauma response. Now, one thing to think about is humans are social creatures. We are wired for connection. We need each other. 99.9% of humans, I believe, are wired that way. So when we are bullied or when we experience public shaming, we can experience that as being outcast from our group. That is a threat to our survival, or people can experience it as a major survival threat. Hence, that leads to a trauma or trauma response when our survival is threatened. Now, how can bullying impact both the body and the mind? Well, in many different ways. If we just take the body first, some physical symptoms that have been associated with bullying include things like headaches, muscle tension, chronic pain, sleep disturbances, and more. All of that can be connected to bullying or public shaming of some sort. And then let's look at what happens with the mind. Of course, the mind and body are connected, but some common symptoms are anxiety, depression, hypervigilance, and another big one is negative self-beliefs, maladaptive self-beliefs. So those are just a few ways bullying affects the body and the mind. I invite you to think about either in your own experience, if you've been bullied, or if you know people in your personal life or people you work with, patients, clients, what have you noticed? What has been the impact on their bodies and their minds? And now I'd like to shift gears into part 3 and introduce some simple practices inspired by EMDR. What is EMDR? Well, EMDR is a very popular evidence-based approach to psychotherapy that's often used to treat trauma. It was developed originally by Francine Shapiro. And EMDR is great for many things, but with regard to addressing trauma and pain from bullying, we can think of EMDR as helping to, number one, to reprocess maladaptive memories, self-beliefs, thoughts, images, sensations. So EMDR helps to release whatever is stuck in a person's trauma response by reprocessing. Again, there's many layers to reprocessing, but we often start, not always, but often start with a target memory. A memory that is distressing to the person when they think about it in current time. Okay. Second way that EMDR is helpful is through resourcing, through activities that build resilience. And that's what we're going to focus on for the rest of this session because of the nature of this session. We don't have the time. It's not appropriate to practice reprocessing. So let me ask you, what's a place where you feel safe and calm? It could be a real place or an imagined place. And by the way, I'm doing what's called, or I'm leading you through the EMDR safe space exercise. So I often think of a favorite spot in the redwoods with a creek, a flowing creek, and the sound of birds and moss on the trees, lots of sunlight streaming through. But what's your safe place? Just take a moment to think of a place, and it could be an imagined place. And by the way, there should be no trauma or drama associated with this place. Great. Now that you have your place, please think of a being. Could be a real being or an imagined being. Could be a person, could be an animal, could be some sort of mythical figure. But think of a being that feels like a protective figure to you. I have in my mind right now this kind of goddess-like creature with giant wings and a few tools, and yeah, that's what's flowing through. But what's a protective figure for you? Maybe it's your grandfather or your mother or someone else. So now that you have your protective figure, I want to invite you to think about your safe place again. Feel free to close your eyes. Notice what you see in that place that pleases you, what you hear, what you smell. Are there any tastes that please you? Notice any textures that please you. Really let yourself take in with your five senses all the things that please you in this safe place, this safe, calm place. Good. And now I invite you to give your safe place a simple name. I'm calling my safe place Redwood Sanctuary. What's the name of your safe place? Now, when you say the name of your safe place, begin to invoke with your five senses that safe place. And now bring your safe, protective being into your safe place with you. See them there. You can imagine yourself there with your protective being in your safe place. Give your protective figure a name. And now let's add in what's called the butterfly hug. We're going to take our hands, hook our thumbs together. And as you think about your safe place and your protective figure, begin tapping by your collarbone area or anywhere you want to tap. Just adding in now bilateral stimulation. Really good. Take another couple breaths here, focusing on your safe place, your protective figure, and notice how you feel inside. And then pause the tapping. Thank your safe place. Say the name of your safe place one more time. Thank your protective figure for being there for you. And slowly open your eyes, gaze at something that pleases you. This safe place exercise and protective figure exercise is something you can do to help establish an embodied sense of safety when your nervous system is wigging out, going into a fight, flight, freeze, or a fawn response. It's a very simple practice, and I encourage you to do it daily and encourage your clients to do it as well. Thank you so much for joining me for this wellness session. I look forward to seeing you soon.